long line. We are here at the range day of SHOT Show 2024.
Gonna shoot some pew pews that go bang bang.
It's gonna be awesome.
Made it to SHOT Show. Yesterday was the industry range day and we got to shoot a lot of fun toys. But here the actual expo begins and we got a bunch of meetings with different companies, with some vendors and some partners. But Michael, what are you excited for?
I'm really excited to kind of get the both big brand and small brand perspective on kind of what it took to get here and be relevant in the industry, and then what it takes to kind of stay alive and stay relevant in front of the customer. There's a lot of smaller brands on the exterior, and then there's a lot of big brands like Browning on the interior, so excited to just hear from each one of them and their different perspectives and experiences.
Yeah, cool. Where we are right now, we're at this supplier expo, and the thing I like about this is it's suppliers from all around the world who are the manufacturers behind a lot of the big brands that you know. And so what we're looking for when we go around here is we're looking for material suppliers, we're looking for companies that we can use for some of the brands we're taking on. And if you can get closer to the source, you can get better control over your inventory and the products you can design. You can also control the cost much better. And I'm all about saving $1. So let's go check out some of the places around here and see what we can see.
Man, I wonder how much business actually gets done at this show. SHOT Show is really different because it's a very transactional show, and so a lot of the people that come and to the show, it's open to the media and to buyers only. And so you've got all the massive retailers from around the country, but also around parts of the world coming, and this is where they actually place their orders for the year. And so most of the rifle manufacturers, they'll say, well, what products did I sell and what volume did I sell for at the SHOT Show? And then they'll add about 20% of that, and that's how they predict how much volume they're actually going to produce for the year. There's 14 miles of booths here, and so we've been here for 8 hours now, and we're only part way through one room. Literally take 2 days to walk around the whole show. So I'd love to know how much business actually gets done in terms of dollars. It's a really interesting show. Hey guys, it's Chris here. I'm here with Lee from Bushmaster.
Hey there.
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Bushmaster's been around for 50 years. In fact, we had our 50-year anniversary last year. What we've really been trying to do is kind of bring back the quality of the Wyndham originals, because there was an era where other people owned the company, and it dipped a little bit, but we're trying to bring back chrome line barrels, chrome line bolt carriers, and really kind of bring back that love for Bushmaster. At range day yesterday, people walk up, my first AR was a Bushmaster, my grandpa had a Bushmaster. People roll through that all the time. What I realize is that this is part of American culture. These are people who grew up with Bushmaster, who love Bushmaster. We have people come in the booth from across the world who want to talk to us about Bushmaster because they know of the gun. And so that's really our effort, is to truly bring back that idea of the Bushmaster quality, but also that love for Bushmaster that we all have. This is really the idea. This is America's rifle, and that's what Bushmaster is to us.
So what are you seeing in terms of some of the trends and some of the things that you're kind of looking at and prioritizing for this year?
We're not a retro company.
Yeah.
We make new ARs. We do SBRs. We do a lot of work for the law enforcement groups. We also have hunting rifles as well. We have the whole gamut of what we do, but the retro thing, I think, is a really good way for us to get the Bushmaster name back out there. And the other thing I think is really funny, we see a lot of young guys. I'm 50, but a lot of young guys are coming up there. They grew up with Call of Duty. They grew up with, and we made it was you. So it's kind of cool to see people want to have an A2 just because they remember that from saving up their gold coins on Call of Duty to go get that gun, right?
Yeah. So looking at, I guess, as your role as the marketing director of the business, what do you think about when you're talking about how do we expand the brand? How do we kind of build the brand of, because it's been around for so long, there's a lot of like legacy and history there, but like, how do you bring kind of a new approach to that?
I think our push right now is we really want to try to work with our dealers and really get that idea of the mom and pops back on the board for what Bushmaster could be. I think when people are disappointed with something and it goes downhill a little bit, not to talk badly, but when that happens, you have to bring that back, and we're really dedicated to that. We want to have a quality product. We want to have a quality build.
So what advice would you have for a founder of an outdoor company who's looking to either enter into market or scale their brand?
I think I could get so deep in this, but I really think there's archetypes. Is the idea of what your brand means.
Yeah.
It's not what I say the brand is, it's what you think it is, what the consumer thinks the brand is. The problem is, though, the consumer has this like little linear, the little linear part of their brain where they think about something.
Yeah.
Bushmaster with Grandpa's rifle.
Yeah.
That could be good or bad, right?
Yeah.
So when you market something, that consistency across the board is what we have to have.
Gotcha.
And so that's the one bit of advice for I've been doing it for almost 25, 30 years, to be consistent, but also to have a voice and to have something that people understand what you are. Because they're, in all honesty, people have a short attention span. They're gonna be up there for a little bit, and you have to like push that to them. And that's what America's rifle is, right?
Buck knives. One of my very first gifts from my granddad was a buck knife. It was a pocket knife, collapsible, and I lost that knife. I never really realized how much it meant to have lost that knife after I lost my granddad. When he had passed, the family had an opportunity to kind of put their name on certain items that they wanted to hold as a relic, and I put my name on his buck knife that he carried on his person and got it back. So to this day, that is my most treasured pocket knife, is a buck knife. The property itself is just a reminder of the person behind it and his character, my grandmother's character, the marriage they shared together, the faith that they shared together. That's what I remember when I remember that knife. That's the most important piece of that knife, really, is just the memories that I shared of the type of people that they were, and the family and the legacy that they created on a solid foundation of faith, and then family, and then country.
Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Hey guys, I'm here with Newt from Backbone Media, a company that we're partnering with on a number of different fronts. Talk to me about, I guess, how you work with brands from a PR perspective.
Yeah, so it all starts off when there's an opportunity to start a relationship with a brand. Backbone's really transparent internally to where we see if there's anybody that's interested in that brand, the products that they offer, and kind of the lifestyle that they promote. Because really, a lot of the brands we work with are lifestyle brands in the outdoor industry. And we want to put people that are authentic to that brand, to those products, and that lifestyle to work directly with that brand.
Awesome.
So my personal example, I love to hunt. That's my biggest passion. I grew up in Western Nebraska where hunting was just a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So anytime there's an opportunity to work with a hunt brand, I'm pretty quick to raise my hand and say, I want that one, I want that one.
Yeah.
And then we work to really put together a team that works well together, that would work well with that brand. And then we try to pair like a director level, a senior level person, and then an account manager person, and like an account coordinator person, to really build a team that can provide everything for that brand. Then we onboard with them, we work with them really closely to where we try to become product experts and brand experts just as much as the internal people are with each one of those brands.
Yeah, wow. So then how do you go about kind of getting the message out and kind of teaming up, working on deciding what media channels you go after and kind of so you can tell that story?
Yeah, so we work really closely with the brands to establish what their goals are. Are they looking for brand awareness? Are they looking to drive traffic to their website? Are they looking to grow their affiliate channels? And based on a lot of their goals, and then we also work with them to figure out what media outlets, what media channels they want to appear in. Kind of what is your bingo card of outlets that you want to hit, or what is your dream placement?
Yeah.
Are you fine with just product roundups and product reviews, or do you want in-depth brand stories that tells the full story about the founding of the company and the progression of the company over years?
Yeah.
And then we work towards those goals. But also we give a lot of feedback to where we don't want to just be yes men.
Yeah.
To where they tell us what they want and we say yes, sure, of course. We have a lot of experience in the outdoor industry. We've worked with a lot of these magazines, these outlets, these writers for several years. And we offer a lot of input and suggestions on, well, you can chase impressions and you can chase brand awareness through very large outlets, but that's not where your core customer is consuming their content. And we'll steer them towards maybe a smaller outlet, a more niche outlet that is, well, that's going to be what drives sales. That's going to get you in front of your core audience. So just really doing the balancing act of all of that and trying to land in a good place for the brand.
Hey guys, we're here at the Allen booth with Doug here. He's the sales and marketing VP for the Allen brand. And then we're here with Eric from Breakthrough Cleaning Products. Guys, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Likewise.
So I'm keen to hear a little bit about the story of Allen and then also the story of Breakthrough, because I understand it's just become a subsidiary of Allen.
Well, so Allen Company, we're in our 54th year right now. We started by making gun cases in Colorado in 1970. And we've evolved into one of the market share leaders in a variety of different categories in the outdoor shooting, the hunting, the tactical, the archery markets. We're the market share leader in gun cases. We're the market share leader in gun slings. And then we have 1,250 different cataloged items and thousands of products that we make private label for a lot of the premier retailers and some of the manufacturers. We've been growing into multiple different categories throughout the years, but one of our most exciting categories was actually an acquisition. It happened at the SHOT Show a couple years ago. We stopped by, we loved what we saw from Eric and the Breakthrough Clean Technologies brand, and we asked Eric, hey, would you be interested in talking about selling your company? And Eric said, well, sure. And 6 months later, they were part of the Allen Company. And it's just been a match made in heaven. The brand is growing. Eric is continuing to lead all the product development. We're adding a ton of new products, getting into new categories, and Eric can actually tell you a little bit about the why of Breakthrough Clean Technologies.
Yeah, Eric, so you're the founder of the business. Talk me through, at a high level, what the business is and what it does, but then I'm keen to hear your founding story as well.
Right. Okay, sure. So, looking into the firearm industry, I noticed there was a void in good quality cleaning products. Most of the products were smelly, they're carcinogenic. So I came from an aerospace background. I'm like, why not use my background in aerospace chemicals and incorporate that into the firearm industry? And that was the birth of Breakthrough Clean Technologies. We started with a cleaner, then we added our lubricants, eventually going on to cleaning kits, and now gunsmithing tooling parts.
Wow.
Yep.
Unbelievable. So, going through that journey, how long was it since you founded the business through to kind of the exit?
It's been about 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I founded the business. Our first sale was at SHOT Show of 2014, which we managed to get a booth, which was incredible. I mean, that was back then. It was a little bit difficult. Didn't have the Cedars Forum. So we started like that, you know, a lot of people asking questions, didn't know about the brand. You start, you know, telling your story, the whys, and then ultimately let the products speak for themselves. And so far so good, you know, we have a lot of good success, and fortunate enough, Alan took an interest in our company, and we, you know, now part of the Alan.
And so, obviously, coming from a market-leading brand that Alan is today, what has that, I guess, transition been like? You know, in being acquired by them, and I assume now getting access to the vast reach that this brand has.
Right. Well, you said it. Right, the small company, the reach is the issue, right? A lot of the larger retailers, even though they might know or like your product, they don't really have a lot of faith in the ability to deliver.
Yeah.
And that's what Alan really brought to the table.
Yeah.
Post-acquisition, I mean, we were going to sales meetings, and it was like, oh, yeah, I know Breakthrough. Oh, now it's part of Alan? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You know, let's get some.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And as far as the transition, how it's been awesome. I mean, it's like Luke said, it's a match made in heaven. You know, I think we blended well together from you know, personnel and to how they've gotten behind the brand and really helped us push it.
Yeah, gotcha. And did you relocate headquarters, or you kind of stayed where you were?
No, fortunately, I get to stay in Miami, which is a lot warmer than Colorado. So that's a good thing.
Particularly at this time of the year.
Yeah. Thank God for Zoom and Teams and that kind of stuff. But yeah. So, all distribution and sales are managed out of our Colorado facility.
Yeah, wow. And so with the Allen brand, I mean, you guys are now expanding your portfolio, not just into the Breakthrough, but you're now rolling out the new Ear Pro things. What's been kind of the strategy for kind of diversifying away from just gun cases?
Well, we have some outstanding retail partners out there, and we're trying to put a portfolio of products together that we can be appealing in many different areas. So for 2024, one of our big launches is our Ultrex hearing and eye protection brand. We've always been in the hearing and eye protection brand, but we really decided to put put a major emphasis on what we're doing, and we're launching a comprehensive Ultrex brand that we'd love to show you as well.
Sure.
And that's one of our big launches, along with all the Breakthrough new items for this year.
Amazing. Well, guys, you heard it here. We got Alan, who's doing some amazing things in the industry, and guys, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, Chris.
great to meet you.
Whoa. I'll take that.
So we're here at the Seekins Precision booth with Matty. Matty, what's your role?
So I am the Director of Business Development at Seekins Precision, but I do a little bit of everything. So it's just kind of whatever needs to happen that day. So
tell me a little bit about like how long this has been in business and kind of how it all got off the ground.
So Seekins Precision started in 2004. Glenn Seekins rented time on a CNC machine and started making scope rings pretty much in his basement. So he was out on a hunt, and he had a set of steel rings fail him, and he missed like the best buck he's ever seen in his life. And was like, man, there's got to be a better way to make some better quality rings that are out there. So he started making scope rings, and then it evolved into small parts for ARs, and then it went into complete ARs, and then we got into the bolt gun world 7 or 8 years ago, and it's just been a rocket ship ride since then. So 2024 is 20 years that Seekins Precision has been a thing.
Wow.
And so we're all just super proud to even be associated with it. Glenn is a great guy, and it's super fun to watch the growth of this company and where it started to where it is today.
Yeah, and where are you manufacturing out of?
So we're manufacturing all of our stuff in Lewiston, Idaho. So it's one of our claims, and one of the things that we like to get out to people is outside of the triggers and the rubber accessories, we make everything else under our own roof. So we have a huge machine shop. Glenn is a crazy forward thinker. He's always planning. We can save time this way. We need to add this machine. We need to change this shop layout so we get more machines stacked in this corner. It's unbelievable how his brain works. It's amazing. But it's so much fun to work there. We make all of the parts under our own roof.
So I know you guys are launching a new rifle at the moment, but like, what are some of the key trends that you're seeing in kind of the space and kind of how you're staying ahead of the curve?
It's been interesting to watch. There's two branches that are forking off pretty quick. One of them is the competition side.
Yep.
And there's been a lot of fun there, and both like the PRS and then the NRL Hunter has been hugely successful. But that require a little bit of weight limits, but some you don't have any at all, and the other one the rifle can still be pretty heavy. And then the backcountry hunting world has exploded.
Yeah.
People that want to hike deep in, really suffer bringing that animal out on their own back. And so the extreme lightweight side of the house has also been an explosion. So the Slam which is the new rifle you were talking about, is extremely lightweight. And it allows those guys to be able to pack that rifle around all day long, all week long, and not just have it be a boat anchor that they're lugging around in the mountains. So,
Now, you've been involved with the brand for a long time. How would you say that Seekins is kind of positioned as a brand? Because obviously you've got thousands of different types of companies that you compete against.
Yes.
How would you guys position yourselves?
I think the best way to describe us is we are a semi-custom manufacturer. Each gun is hand-bedded, each gun is hand-painted. There's a lot of attention to detail that goes into even just our production guns. But because we make all the parts under our own house, we don't have to adjust pricing accordingly. So we can make a $5,000 rifle, but we can sell it for $2,500, and we still make a great profit. And we find ourselves in a really good niche of, we're not the bottom end, we're not the crazy expensive end, we're right in the middle, where a lot of guys can comfortably afford a high-functioning, hyper-accurate rifle at a cost that's not keeping their kids from going to college. So
yeah, exactly. So what advice would you have for someone wanting to get into the outdoor industry as like a founder of a company and looking to scale their brand?
The biggest thing would be careful who you associate yourself with to begin with. There's a lot of people that will just use your name to get themselves to the next level, and you get no return on investment from that person. So vet your sources and who you're going to rely on carefully. And the other one is you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Right? You can read books and you can plan and you can eventually you still have to take that jump.
Yeah.
You got to make the move. And that's the biggest hang up I see is a lot of guys will continue to prepare, and the next thing you know, they've continued to prepare for 10 years and they've never made the leap and the opportunity's passed.
Yeah.
So take the chance.
Amazing.
The worst you can say is that you didn't work out. So it's
Appreciate
good to
your
do it.
time.
Yeah, thank you for coming in, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Here at the Quiet Cat booth with Logan.
Yep.
Logan, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Logan. I work with Quiet Cat. You know, obviously we're a premier builder of e-bikes, and you guys are at SHOT Show, so we're going to be talking primarily about our military, law enforcement, and government offering, but we also do consumer bikes as well.
Yeah. So if we rewind a little bit, how long has Quiet Cat been around, and talk me through the story of its growth?
Yeah, it's actually a really cool story. Happy to share it. E-bikes, people are just hearing about now, and you're hearing them take off. Everybody's starting to use them, from consumers to the government. And our story started about 10 years ago, which is in e-bike terms forever.
Yeah.
Like, that's ancient. So we were basically the first people to ever do a fat tire off-road e-bike. And we specialize in three things, right? Utility, durability, and power. Those are the three areas we excel and will always not compromise on. Where it started for us was actually in the Golden Triangle of Illinois. So that's a very famous hunting area if you're familiar with the whitetail world. Our two founders, Jake and Justin Roach, they owned an outfitter for whitetail. And they had these properties, and they were trying to figure out, how do we hunt this property more with less land impact? How do we get in there quietly? How do we get in there scent-free? And so they basically came up with this electric vehicle that was like a trike.
Yeah.
So it had two wheels in the back and one wheel in the front, and they were using this big golf cart battery. And it was going well, right? They were quietly and scentlessly accessing these areas. They were able to hunt more people and be more successful, but they were running into problems where they couldn't fit in narrow areas, single track trails, for example. So they knocked it down to two wheels, and the Fat Tire e-bike was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so from that, starting point, when was that?
10 years ago, yeah.
Wow, and so what's been kind of the brand growth since? So they went into R&D and just decided they're going to actually build a bike.
Yeah.
Then what happened after that?
Yeah, so then you got into 10 years ago, you had the simple design of like the battery was just kind of mounted on top of the frame, right? And you still see that today. Some people are kind of way behind in terms of design because it's easy to slap a bike on a frame. And then you started coming through all these different innovations. One is getting the battery inside the frame so it's protected, right? So it can be UL certified, so it's not dangerous for fires, for example. Another thing was the welded rear rack we have on our bikes. So allowing people, back to that utility factor of allowing people to carry a ton of gear, developing 200 different accessory options so you can customize the vehicle for what you're looking to do. And every little step along the way, all the way up until last year when we developed VPO, which is a technology that in e-bikes, there's classification systems. So if you go to a public land trail, it might say class 1, which means you need a bike that's pedal assist only and less than 20 miles an hour. And the problem is if you have a high-powered e-bike, you can't use it there until now, right? With VPO, you can tune that bike down to class 1 and be legally compliant on any trail system.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So you guys are market leaders. You got bought by private equity, so from Vista. Bought them a couple of years ago.
Yeah, which is public.
Yeah. What's that transition been like?
Yeah, so going from that crazy startup and being early on that growth trend, and the e-bike space it's a lot like tech. It's a lot like a computer or a cell phone, where every year there's just new things and new levers to pull, and if you're not pulling them, you're falling behind. And so it was really fun being agile as a privately held company, kind of self-funded. And it got to a point where it was like, all right, we need more resources. And that's where Vista really helped. And for those who aren't familiar with Vista, or now is rebranded as Revelist, you've got Sims, Camelback, Stone Glacier, Bell, Giro, some just staple brands. And then Quiet Cat is one of those, right? And going into the public space, you start getting more funding, more resources, the ability to join in a booth like this at SHOT Show with Camelback. It's a household name in the drinkware space. And then also just to have counterparts at different brands to pitch ideas off of has been really awesome.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess looking forward, what are some of the big trends that you're seeing in the e-bike space, and what are you guys doing that's pretty exciting?
Yeah, and we have some of it over here that we can't really talk about. It's on media embargo, and so I know what's coming in 24, but to say what's coming in 25 is impossible because of how fast everything is progressing. I mean, number one, battery technology is coming a long way. You'll see that with our 24 bikes. We've got range on one battery charge you've never seen before. You've got different drivetrains, right, that we're developing that just don't exist. And I think it's really getting to the point now where the main problems are getting solved, and you kind of have this amazing tool for silently and scentlessly accessing any place, whether you're a military customer or a consumer. And they've just really gotten to be really tremendous vehicles.
Amazing. So you look after the sales and marketing of the brand. From a brand perspective, what would be your advice for a founder in the outdoor industry who's trying to build and scale their business? What are some of the things that they should be thinking about?
Yeah, branding 101. Understand what your vision and what your mission is, right? Know who you are and don't deviate from it. I think a lot of people, a lot of companies, they try to do too much. And you can't. In today's age, there's too many competitors, too many products. You got to know who you are. I mentioned our pillars, right? We know we build on power, utility, and durability. Those are our three things we will not compromise on. We will win in those three categories every single time, no questions asked. And so if you know that, you keep that in mind from the bottom to the top, from literally your product design, your marketing, your branding, the ambassadors you choose to work with. It needs to be authentic across the board. That's probably the number one piece I got.
All right, so we walked the floor. There's so many vendors here. There's like thousands, there's hundreds of firearms manufacturers, hundreds of outdoor companies, and it's just a massive show. There's 14 miles of booths at this show. What does it tell you about the industry?
Well, I'm tired of walking, but the industry is massive. Anything and everything you can think about that has to do with the gun is essentially here. But it also tells me that in order to grow and thrive in the industry, you've got to be super competitive, you've got to be a hyper marketing machine, and you've got to have a product that resonates with the customer and that's high quality. And obviously at a price point that makes sense for the customer. So some I'm sure will survive and others will not, but it's huge. I've never seen anything like it where there's so many vendors in one spot.
Yeah, my big takeaway was that, yes, it's a massive show, and there are so many very, very similar products that are out there. And so the thing that I see is the brands that are standing out, they've done a good job of positioning their brand as not catering to absolutely everyone. They're kind of picking their niche, even though it might be a massive niche, but they're kind of picking their lane and they're really doubling down on that. And that then comes across in the types of customers that they attract, and the marketing then flows from there, and that all kind of equates to, you know, getting some traction. So it's been an impressive show.
Yeah, we just interviewed a company called Breakthrough, which is a suppressor cleaner solution. It was just acquired by a larger company that had been around the industry for decades. But it's totally unrelated in some respects to the market. They weren't in the cleaning product space before. So it just tells you that the quality companies have an opportunity to get bought. There'll probably be some consolidation in the space across all product lines in the industry.
Yeah, there's definitely a massive opportunity. My advice to founders that are trying to get into, I guess, the big leagues is that, I mean, this is the place to be. It's a very transactional show, so all the big POs of the year are kind of locked and solidified here. This place is full of buyers from all the large retail chains. So if you want to get your business into kind of the B2B route and get some kind of mainstream distribution into retail, this is the place to be. It's bloody expensive, so that's a factor. It's very difficult to get in. And so the way I would do it is by partnering with another brand to try and get some floor space to then get your name on the list to then be able to kind of jump the line for the following year to kind of then have your own booth. We've done that with some of our brands, and it works pretty well. That's a wrap.